that is a benefit that you have to think about over on Ian's side, potentially starting with, what, a 10-card hand? This could be the best turn he's ever had.
Yes, exactly. Wow, what a hand, an opening hand. Oh,
I got everything.
Iron Thorns is shutting me down. Oh, man. Okay.
If you can't find the cologne here, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. So since these players do have their headsets on, let's get into this this deck here. We've talked about this pivotal turn here, Kyle, for Ian, what he's going to have to capitalize on going against Fernando. I'm sure Ian has prepared for this matchup. Iron Thorns has been sort of on the radar. It hasn't been super prevalent, maybe not the matchup he was expecting here, and he's laughing now because all of these mulligans, but where do you think he's going to go as far as the initial setup into this matchup and how he can best get to that pivotal turn?
Right, so Ian has two main strategies that he can go with. One of them isn't very pretty, but is kind of cool.
Yeah?
Squawkabilly.
How all these prize cards come into play. Ian Robb looking at this giant hand now after drawing all those extra cards. We have the handshake. We're ready to get into our first Masters Top 8 match here at the World Championships in 2024. I'm super happy to see Iron Thorns EX here on our table, and it's going to start off just by attaching that double turbo energy and passing over to Ian Robb now. Going to start the turn here with an Ultra Ball, discarding those Dragon Pokemon straight into the discard pile. You love to see it.
Sign me up. That's exactly where you want to see those Pokemon. Throw them into the discard pile as early as possible as you're trying to work towards one unique strategy with this deck, using the Regidrago V-Star to copy that Apex Dragon and see all of the different attacks that you could use in a matchup like this. Mainly something that knocks out Iron Thorns.
Yes, so we see two of those Regidrago Vs are in the prize cards, and they're both at the top. Like, what are the odds of that?
we're not going to get there, are we?
Nope, but there is still one Regidrago V in the deck there for Ian Robb as well. So yeah, that was the first deck search of the turn. Going to look through the resources here and this giant hand as well, kind of accounting for these prize cards and what strategies he has to work around when he doesn't have access to those cards that are being kept in the prize cards until we start taking some of those up. So taking notes here on the table, a lot of our competitive pro Pokemon players do that to keep track of everything in the prize cards. We do see that Squawkabilly as well hit the bench here for Ian Robb now.
Of course, you have plenty of time here, 75 minutes in a top 8, so make sure to follow along as best as possible with all of your resources that you have. Get a good feel for what those prize cards are, and there's no surprise here. You need that Regidrago to last as long as possible.
Yeah, for sure. We need it to last because there's not any other ones to access currently for Ian Robb. So we're going to see a couple extra discards here off an additional Ultra Ball, that Hawlucha, as well as that Dragapult. So we have a ton of attackers now. As Kyle was saying, the way this deck works, Regidrago V-Star is able to copy the attacks from these dragon Pokemon in the discard pile for its own energy requirement. And with that Apex Dragon move. We also have a Legacy V-Star ability on that Regidrago V-Star, allowing you to discard 7 cards and then put 2 of any card in your discard pile into your hand as well. So usually that's a way to either duplicate your resources or get attackers potentially in the discard, or do both sometimes. So Ian Robb is playing through right now, Ultra Balling 2 more cards here, getting that Kyurem out. And yeah, tons of resources to work with, of course, because I don't know how many mulligans we had, but it was a lot.
Yeah, and certainly it leads to hands like this. This is fantastic. Obviously, in the window of the deck there, we saw that canceling Cologne. You need to know where that is. And sure enough, maybe can find that later along the road. It goes with the Teal Mask Ogerpon for now, and we won't see all these abilities, but you do see that Squawkabilly EX. And
woo!
It's a fantastic addition to have here.
Look
the
at
Switch
this.
is already
You
there.
Called it.
And it's time to motivate.
We're motivating up in here with the Squawkabilly EX. I love that move. It's going to do that 20 damage, and then you attach 2 basic energies from the discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. You saw those energies be put into the discard pile already off the Ultra Ball, so we got there on the first turn here. Huge for Ian Robb. Crushing Hammers are coming through, but did we just fail them?
Yeah, that was a Tails that we saw right there, and that is one of the 4 times that Ian will sweat during the game, as every one of those hammers is so crucial. You want to avoid that at all costs, because each one is essentially another turn. Squawkabilly not going to be here very long. It's going to get knocked out by Iron Thorns, and to have 2 energies on this Regidrago right now means that you have potential to be attacking next turn. That's exactly where you want to be. You can be knocking out Pokemon right now.
Yeah, Ian Robb has set everything up thanks to so many cards in the hand. Following through with the strategy, using that Squawkabilly was huge there. Fernando is going to have to respond here now, attaching these energy with that Giovanni's Charisma.
Yeah,
I love to see it.
Charisma's kind of working against him. Negative Riz as you give your opponent a free energy, but it does allow you to gain that lightning energy, and 2 attackers are ready to roll. Quick prize cards fall in here, but I think Ian's knocking at the door.
Exactly. I agree with that, Kyle. Iron Thorns EX able to take those prize cards out here off of that Squawkabilly, going down 2 prize cards. We're flying in now here, Kyle. Regidrago V-Star being evolved into here for Ian Robb. And we are going into this turn here. We have 2 Teal Mask Ogerpon EX to be able to draw some additional cards here as well for Ian.
Wowee. Okay. If the Dragapult is in the discard pile, I believe it is, there's potential to spread the damage pretty nicely here. 200 to the active, 6 to the bench, and then Boss's Orders is in the hand, which means a 4 prize turn is available next turn as long as these energies remain on this Pokemon.
Could we see this go down here right now, Kyle? This might be a faster match than I was anticipating.
Not sure if we're seeing the damage counters on the bench just yet, so...
Yes, yeah, I don't think so just yet. Just going to take a massive hit there on that Iron Thorns EX, thanks to that Apex Dragon. Now it's just holding on there, and we're diving into the deck here on Fernando's side with an Arven. So taking a look at the hands here and then selecting these 2 cards. It's going to be an item card as well as a tool card in that Future Booster Energy Capsule, allowing you to boost up your damage a little bit, 20 additional damage as well as free retreats.
All right, it looks like Ian going with safety first, as the Hisuian Gudra was the attack that was used there. So with the iron rolling over there.
Rolling iron.
Resistance from this next attack. That means Regidrago's hanging out for quite some time.
All right, well, we're going to see this attack from the Iron Thorns EX here. Does have to move that energy onto the bench, and Ian Robb over here. Thanks. We see that Hisuian Gudra popping up.
It's like,
he's like, I'm in a pickle.
Dragapult could have just won, but I guess safety's cool. This does lead to situations where You could move to another Pokemon later on. Of course, you just take a knockout here as well. And if this is the sole Iron Thorns on the other side, you can take an easy knockout with one of those other dragon types you have in the discard pile. Should all line up just fine, but having only one die on you feels pretty good.
One die, yes, exactly. Look at the die differences right here, right now, Kyle.
Ow!
We would love to be drawing some cards, though, but unfortunately.
You know, sometimes just simple Pokemon's good Pokemon. Attach energy, play supporter, click all the boxes, don't retreat. But
yeah, don't do that one. We're just going to see that Iono here from Ian Robb. So both of these players going to draw into some new hands. After their current hands are going to the bottom of the deck, Fernando into 4 cards, Ian Robb into a fresh 6.
Yep, rolling out over and over again. The 80 resistance that you have on that next attack is going to be so helpful to sticking around in this game. And Fernando needs answers. He does not have another Pokemon on his bench. He could get benched out.
Yeah, Ian Robb tanking himself here thanks to that Hisuian Gudra. We're getting gooey in here, Kyle. Fernando over here on this other side, Pokegear 3.0 being played right now. Did you see that there was a draw of a supporter off of it, though? Looks like taking a quick look at the resources so far in Ian Robb's discard pile. Remember, we're working off the Iono hand, so not that many cards here for Fernando. We're working through the turn.
Yep.
Ooh, I guess maybe that Professor's Research was the Pokegear supporter.
C7 cards. A little bit of lightning would be helpful. Oh, no. But there's a Crushing Hammer. There was an energy attached last turn, and Tails anyways.
Oh, Tails on the Crushing Hammer. You want to get those discards, but if you cannot hit a heads,
oh, we're stalling.
Have it.
Pokemon Catcher.
Oh, it's also a Tails.
There's another.
2 Pokemon. Oh, we hit one finally here. 2 Tails after a Crushing Hammer, Pokemon Catcher. But now this Pokemon Catcher hits a heads. Teal Mask Ogerpon EX joining us in the active here now for Fernando. All right, we're going to see this Techno Radar here come down, allowing us to search out these future Pokemon. Remember, we only have Iron Thorns.
Surprise!
Which ones are going to be?
You get a PB&J every day.
Yeah, no surprise there. But hey, that card is exceptional for these future decks. I mean, I just love the mechanic. I love future decks. We're going to see the Energy Lotto next, and we do have the energy hitting here, being attached now to that Iron Thorns EX that was just sought out off that Techno Radar for Fernando. So we're getting things set up here. What are you thinking about this match so far as the pacing between both of these players, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, clearly Fernando is grasping at straws, trying to continue to maintain some relevant attacks in this spot, but missing on these Crushing Hammers is devastating, and Ian is loving every minute of this. An attack into this Teal Mask Ogerpon does nothing against this Regidrago, and he is licking his chops over there. He's ready for some action. What can go down with this hand?
Yes, exactly. Trying to figure out what can happen here. Fernando, of course, has the Iron Thorns EX with that super powerful ability in the initialization.
Oh, it's the canceling cologne. And not only this, but you use your Legacy Star and you bring it right back to the hand. That's 2 turns that we're going to be lined up.
Brutal.
He's smelling good.
Oh, yes, exactly. Oh, yeah, but this Iron Thorns EX has a major strategy here. Is shutting down some of Ian Robb's strategy, but it is not enough here because Ian Robb just has to be able to attach these energy and consistently get some damage on board, these knockouts. Hey, I guess I can say, Kyle, that at least the prize mapping is pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah, 2-2-2. Sign me up for that basic math class.
Yes,
and you can tell exactly what the game plan is at this point for Ian. Has options like Prime Catcher in the discard pile. Says, nah, I just want some basic energies. That'll do.
That will do. We see that energy there onto that Teal Mask Ogerpon here. We're drawing some cards for Ian Robb.
Yep, and this is it. You cash in on this opportunity. Use as many of these abilities as you can. You have the retreat lined into the Regidrago. Can probably take a knockout, but also have that opportunity to play it safe and continue to be rolling the iron.
Yeah, look at this. The energy switch as well, just to make sure that Regidrago is nice and safe despite any potential discards that might be coming up from Fernando. And you called it here, rolling the iron. Hisuian Gudra V-Star making its little debut. Of course, it's via the Regidrago V-Star Apex Dragon, copying its move, 200 damage, but huge resistance, or should I say, how do I say it? Subtracting damage the next turn?
Yeah, I've been calling it resistance, but I don't like that.
Well, resistance is something else in the Pokemon.
Yes.
Well, let's say reduction of 80 damage on your next turn. There you go.
The top deck of the turn was that penny, and sure enough, what a great time to see that when your Pokemon's about to be knocked out. Why not just bring all these resources back to the hand and get another 60 damage on your opponent?
Another 60 damage indeed. We're going to see all of this damage here coming down. That Iron Thorns EX just hanging on here. Of course, it does have that tool card attached to it already. This Iono coming down. That's going to be the free retreat thanks to that future booster energy capsule there for Fernando into this fresh, healthy, nice and ready to go, start attacking Iron Thorns EX. It has this incredible ability, but Volt Cyclone only does that 140 damage, and that's even more debuffed by the double turbo, as well as that rolling iron. I mean, it is just not doing much here, Kyle, against this Regidrago right now, and Ian Robb is flying through this turn so
Another
far.
one.
Another one.
The 6th energy attached to this Pokemon, ready to roll at this stage. And we've seen the one issue now is last turn, the Iono was played. Ian lost access to the canceling Cologne, but he does have quite a board presence.
Yeah, I think they're just working that out here.
Sure enough, rolling iron onto the bossed Iron Thorns. One knockout remaining for Ian Robb to get this opening victory here in the top 8 match.
Top 8 match.
What is this hand? It's over.
Oh, it's over. Ian Robb just 2 prize cards away to take and flip the last 2 prize cards that were both Regidrago V. I mean, it's just priceless to see that.
Yeah.
Flips both of them like, yep. Didn't have anything else there. I was barely holding on.
You didn't know, but I had a hand tied behind my back.
Yes. Hey, he didn't show it at all. Ian Robb taking down this Iron Thorns EX in a dominant fashion here in our first top 8 match. I'm sure he's feeling good right now. Everything seemed to go his way, despite this Iron Thorns EX shutting down a lot of his deck there with that initialization ability.
Yeah, I feel like Ian was expecting a deck like this with the way that we see the deck list laid out.
Yeah.
It's got all the answers. He knew the perfect strategy. That Squawkabilly looked so cool. It finally got to do its job, and its job wasn't just to throw away a hand and sit there the rest of the game. It attacked. It did its job. It hit the discard pile. Let's see it all over again.
Yes, let's see it again. Did it even squawk and seize? I don't even think it did.
You can't.
Oh yeah, you can't. You can't.
His poor little beak. It was wrapped up.
Exactly. Oh, yes, that Iron Thorns EX, so powerful there. Oh, it looks like we're getting started here in our game 2 between these players. They are flying here through this matchup.
I thought we'd have another 5 minutes as we search for a Pokemon, but here we are.
Yes, here we are indeed. That first energy coming down here for Fernando. We're passing over now to Ian Robb. I'm glad that we worked out the mulligans this time. We're starting off with a nest ball here. So I think the strategy that we're going to see from Ian Robb is going to be very similar. Just secure those energies down. Make sure that you have those future turns set up. And like we talked about, 2-2-2, and you're into top 4.
Yeah, this is maybe a little different this time around. Finding the one-up switch, the Squawkabilly, the energies in the discard pile, and even some of those additional resources that he had in the discard is by way of Dragon-type Pokemon. All of those are really hard to do without the additional mulligans. So
that's
good
true.
To see this played a little slower, perhaps Celestial Roar. Just start to work your way through.
That is very true. There were so many additional cards for so long for Ian Robb in that last game, thanks to those mulligans. These are the prize cards as well for Ian Robb. Dragapult EX in there, one of the Ogerpon. Ooh, and the
MVP
Squawkabilly.
No.
Not the Billy. Squawkabilly EX. in the prize cards, it is pretty low there, but you saw how that Motivate was great for the strategy here to start getting those energy out. And it's quite sad seeing that it's not going to be flying around here for Ian Robb.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. This is an attack that you can use in the mid game as well. If your opponent does get off to that great start, use the Crushing Hammers, and maybe Fernando just lines up a board that has no energy on the other side and just continues to attack, attack, attack. You can take that turn off, use Motivate, and maybe mount that comeback. And we saw Ian was able to do that pretty quickly. The only prize cards last game were the Squawkabilly.
Exactly. Well, we saw that Celestial Roar off of that Regidrago. Discard top 3 cards, and then if any of them are energies, you can attach them to the Pokemon. Unfortunately, it was not. It was a V-Star, a Teal Mask Ogerpon, and an Earthen Vessel. All very pivotal resources there for Ian Robb. Over on Fernando's side for this next turn, this is our second turn. You can play a supporter here, Colress's Tenacity, Stadium card, and an Energy card. Being available to be sought out of the deck with that card. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a unique supporter that we see in similar decks like this. Just you need a couple things to get rolling, and any access that you can find to the double turbo, you need to accept that. We've seen Energy Lotto in these decks so that you can search out this energy. It's so vital to have that turn 2 attack and start putting some pressure on.
Yeah.
And Fernando's doing just that.
Yeah, pressure indeed. Lost City being played here, and then straight into that Volt Cyclone. Now that we have that double turbo attached, we have all the energy requirement needed, and that damage is going down onto Ian Robb's side, putting a little bit of a timer on him here. We have that damage Regidrago V. We are going to be playing an Ultra Ball here, discarding 2 cards to search out another Pokemon for Ian Robb. But yeah, a little bit of a timer here, lots of damage coming down, and we're going to have to see how he's able to respond.
Yeah, this is, I mean, if I caught the hand right, I think there's an opportunity here. It looked like Canceling Cologne was in hand. So you just go for it right here. Legacy Star, let's see some unique help.
Yeah.
There's access to what? Earthen Vessel potentially here. You could find some help. Let's play it safe. It looks like Nest Ball. Well, the Earthen Vessel's already there. Oh, we're flying. Oh, my goodness. Is it all there? He's got the energy switch.
He's got everything. Oh, my gosh, Kyle. Ian Robb taking down this Iron Thorns EX in a dominant 2-0 victory here in our first top 8 match at the World Championships. I cannot believe what just happened.
What was that hand? He had it all.
As soon as he saw the Canceling Cologne come down, and then the Legacy Star get those 7 cards, I mean, Ian Robb had absolutely everything needed there.
He grabbed a card to throw away with Earthen Vessel. That's how cracked that hand was. Congratulations, young man. You're moving on to the top 4.
Nice and quick here. Quick business for Ian Robb. And I'm sure that's really nice to see for him, because we saw something very similar last season at NAIC. It was against him, though. There was a very, very fast matchup that happened, and it made him 2nd place at NAIC. But now the tables have turned. Ian Robb, karma is in your favor. You're taking down that Iron Thorns EX, and you're in our top 4 now. Huge congratulations.
Yeah, this is what happens with Iron Thorns. You play a deck that is volatile. It doesn't always find additional Pokemon. Sometimes it doesn't even find the first Pokemon. But we got there, we saw one, and there was a moment. And sure enough, Canceling